الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. Yesterday we started discussion on these two verses. يا أيها الذين آمنوا كتب عليكم إذا حضر أحدكم الموت إن ترك خيرا الوصية للوالدين والأقربين بالمعروف حقا على المتقين فمن بدله بعد ما سمعه فإنما إثمه على الذين يبدلون إن الله سميع عليم فمن خاف من موص أو جنفا فلا إثم عليه إن الله غفور رحيم صدق الله العلي العظيم وبلغ رسول النبي الكريم. These verses are discussing about the will, as we made mention yesterday, writing will. And we said it, that writing will in our preamble, that writing will initially was mandatory. But some Mufassirun, as we said yesterday, after the revelation of Ayatul Irth, the ayah of inheritance, they said that Kutiba here may not necessarily mean that it is mandatory. It is recommended, it is emphatically recommended that one should write his or her will before his death. And but there are situations that can make it to be compulsory, mandatory. Situations by which you are owing somebody and nobody knows that you are owing. Even your guardian or the person to execute your will may not have an idea. In that case, you have to write it down. It has become mandatory, compulsory. Or if somebody, you have a man or some people with you, somebody entrusted you with something, say, please keep this thing for me. I made an example yesterday. Somebody came and said, Malandao, please take this 20 million, hold it for me, keep it in your account. Whenever I need it, I will collect it from you. Unfortunately, you are about to pass away, and you, maybe for one reason or the other, you don't have access to that person to call him and to come and take his money. Then you write it in your will that 20 million of so person is with me. In this case now, it has become mandatory. Or if you have, just like this is the obligation of someone on your head. Now, we start discussion on it yesterday. He said, how that ta'bir yushiru dimniyan ila masuriyat tharowa. He said, when he said, kutiba alaykum idha hadara ahdakumul maut إن ترك خيرا الوصية للوالدين والأقربين بالمعروف. With virtue, we said yesterday. He said that particular بالمعروف تعبير يشير ضمنيا. He said it's implicitly indicating مشروعية الثروة, the legality of what? Of wealth. That is, when you have wealth that is legal, it is highly recommended. لأن الأموال غير مشروعة, because any money that is not legitimate, is not legit, ليست خيرا, it is never a good one. That is why it's good we look for money, we look for wealth, but that does not mean we should just look for it anyhow. If you hear Bet Naja, you say you are looking for money, you go there. You hear for this one, you go there. No, that is not the wealth Almighty Allah is saying. It's talking about wealth that is legal, that is legitimate. That one, when you have it, that one is highly recommended. That is why he's saying, لِأَنَّ الْأَمْوَالِ غَيْرَ مَشْرُوعَةٍ. Any wealth that is not mashru'a, is not what? Is not legitimate. لَيْسَتْ خَيْرًا. It is never a good one. بَلْ شَرًّا وَوَبَاء. It is evil and it is destructive, such money. Therefore, for the fact that we are looking for money does not mean we should go in competition with those guys that doesn't care how money comes. Islam has laid down rules and regulations of how we should look for money. And inshallah, looking for it legally does not mean we cannot get it. There are many thousands of Muslims today that have the money, but they got it in a very legal way. وَيُسْتَفَادُ مِنْ بَعْدِ الرِّوَايَاتِ. He said you can get this from some of the narratives, some of the narratives and at-tabir, that is narratives from the Holy Prophet or the Imam, and at-tabir khayron, that this phrase khayron, when Almighty Allah say khayron, in taraka khayran al-wasiyatu. When Almighty Allah say khayran, yurad bihi al-amwal al-mawfura, it means abundance money that you get, wealth that is good. لأن المال يشير لأن المال اليسير, because small money that has no value. Yes, you left money. In this modern world we are now, when you die and you left 200,000 naira, for God's sake, what do you think 200,000 naira can do? Even in villages where you have about maybe a wife or two wives and you have children and you left 200,000 naira. لأن المال اليسير, because money that is of no value, that is mal اليسير, لا يحتاج إلى وصية, it does not need will, mala. You have 200,000 naira and you are writing 5 pages of will. To do what? What do you want people to do with that will of 200,000 naira? ويستطيع الورثة أن يقسموه بينهم حسب قانون الإرث. In that case, because money that is not much, those al-waratha, those inheritors who are inheriting you, they can divide it among themselves using the qaida, the formula of what? Of inheritance that Allah mentioned in the Holy Quran, which is al-irth. Bi-ibaratun ukhra. In another expression, al-malul yasir, money that is of no value, that is little money, laysa bi-shayin, is nothing. Yastadi an yafsil al-insan thuluthahu an tariq al-wasiyya. It does not need that one should separate it and 1/3 from it through wasiyah. What does he mean by 1/3 of it? Those of us, I think recently, before we start the class of Usulul, what do we say? Usul al-Quran, Ulumul Quran, before we started it, we ended that class. When we are talking about, I said it yesterday, that biman ala khas, with a specific meaning. When we say will now, we don't mean entire what? Al-Irith. We mean that 1/3. What is that 1/3? When somebody is among the inheritance that the deceased left, the deceased himself has right of 1/3 in it. It is his right. He has right to will what he wants from that 1/3. What do we mean? If the deceased left 30 million naira now, for example, 30 million, after the debt and others are being paid and others, if he is owing, then the money, for example, remain what? Remain 15 million. This 15 million now, 1/3 of it, the deceased is his right. He has the right to will what he wanted to be done with that 1/5 or 1/3 of it. That is, 1/3 of 15 million is what? 5 million. That shows 5 million is his right. He can will there that with this 5 million, take 2 million to this social organization, go build toilet for that social organization from that 1/3. He said, Al-Mal al-Yasir, this money that is of no value does not need this 1/3. How much is it that you have to divide and say 1/3 should be taken from it? That is what he's saying here. وَجُمْلَةٌ إِذَا حَضَرَ أَحَدَكُمُ الْمَوْتِ. This sentence, when death approaches any of you, تُبَيِّنْ آخِرِ الْفُرْصَةِ لِلْوَصِيَّةِ, is also explaining the last opportunity you have to make your will. You may not, as we said yesterday, you may not make your will, and you delay it for one reason or the other. But the last opportunity you have is before you die. Make sure you make it. He's saying that to buy in akhir fursa, he's telling you the last opportunity of making will. وَهَذِهِ الْفُرْصَةُ الْأَخِيرَةُ. This last chance you have to make your will, in fatat aidan fala fursata badaha. When you lose it, how do you lose it? After your death, can you come back to make your will? You cannot come back to make it. He said, when you miss it, then you don't have any opportunity to make will again. Therefore, try to make your will before you die. La mani an yuktab an yaktub al insan wasiyatahu qabla dhalik. There's nothing stop you from writing your will even before that time. We said it yesterday that there are times when one knows that he's about to die. In that case, he can write quick, even if he has not written before. But how many of us have that opportunity, that you know that you want to die? At times, death comes suddenly, unplanned for. You are planning for maybe you call your son, you are planning in next 10 years how you want to what you want to do. But unfortunately, death comes the next day. Can you stop death that I have made plan of next 10 years? You cannot. Therefore, you have that opportunity. Now, La mani an yaktub al-insan wasiyatahu qabla dhalik. There's no, even this last opportunity we are talking about, there's no money. Nothing stop you. There's no objection. No obstruction. Nothing obstructs you from writing your will before that time. But yustafad min al-riwayat. But we can even get this from the riwayat, from the from the narrations. And haza amal mustasan. That this particular action, writing your will, before even your death, is something that is recommended. Write your will. How many of us sitting down here have written our will? So that when you die, you don't put people in confusion. You don't put your people in trouble. They will be fighting unnecessarily. We pray to Almighty Allah, no matter what that Allah gave us, whenever we die, those whom we left behind should be able to conduct themselves in such a way that this wealth will not distract them. That is very, very important. It all depends the kind of training we give to our wives and our children. They are very, very important. Now, وَلَا قِيمَةَ لِتِلْكَ تَصَوِّرَاتِ الْمُتَشَائِمَةِ. He said there are pessimistic perception before this time. Negative perception. What is that negative perception? So people have believed that when you write your will down, that one can easily make you to die. It's better you delay it. Therefore, they will not write. This is just a negative perception. It is not true, just like superstition. They have that belief that I shouldn't write it because writing it will make me to die quick. No. He said this kind of وَلَكِمًا لِتِلْكَ تَصَوُّرَاتُ مُتَشَائِمَةٍ مِنْ كِتَابَةِ الْوَصِيَّةِ. He said فَالْوَصِيَّةُ إِنْ لَمْ تَكُنْ بَاعِثًا عَلَى طُولِ الْأُمُورِ. Writing wasi, that is your will. If it does not give you long life, at least it will not make your life to come quick. It will not hasten your life. Writing will not hasten your life. Today I can write my will. By Allah's grace, Allah can still give me life, long life. For another 50, 40 years. I stay. Therefore, writing will at any time does not decrease your lifespan. At least, even if it will not increase your lifespan, it will not decrease it. Now, that is why he says, فَالْوَصِيَّةُ إِنْ لَمْ تَكُنْ بَاعِثًا عَلَى طُولِ الْأُمُورِ لَا تَبْعَثُ إِطْلَاقًا عَلَى تَقْرِيبِ أَجَلِ الْإِنسَانِ بَلْ هِيَ دَلِيلٌ. Writing will means you have sight, you have the what? Far-sightedness. That is, you plan well. It makes you to plan well. وَتُحَسَّبُ الْإِحْتِمَالَاتِ. And you calculate the possibilities that can happen. Among the possibilities that can happen is that death can come. And if you know death can come at any time, then what stops you from writing your will? Write it and put it down so that in future, your people have something to guide them whenever whatever you left, if they decide to share it. You know, at times, irith, we call inheritance. At times it may be, if you have good people, it's a good one. At times if you have bad people, it may be unfortunate what will happen after your death. If some of us are asked today, why does Allah says that anybody that in Sharia, anybody that kill his father or his mother or his relative because of inheritance, that person is not entitled to inheritance. Because Arabs has this culture before. When their parents are rich, bourgeois, what they do, they pray that let this man die and go away, please. Let this man die and go away so that we can easily inherit it. At times, if the man refuses to die, they even go and kill him. Then that is why Allah make it that anybody that kills his parents or his relative in order to inherit, that person is cancelled from what? From inheritance. I could still remember I have my wife has a friend, a lady. When we were in Kum, she used to come to her. Whenever we say, how is your family? She would say, you should not make us memory. That the man doesn't want to die. That he's talking about his father-in-law. Because the man has a lot of money. He said, the man doesn't want to die. That is, she wants the man to die quickly so that they can easily what? Inherit him. Yeah, but if you have good children, no matter how billions you have, your good child will continue to pray for his father for long life, that Allah give my father long life to live long. But if you don't have good children, that one can happen. Instead of him praying for you for long life, he will end up praying for you to die quickly so that they can inherit. May Allah save us from that one. Taqyid al-wasiyya bil ma'ruf. He said when he restricts the will al-wasiyya bil ma'ruf, when he said by virtue of that is kutiba alaykum idha hadara ahadakum al-maut in taraka khayran al-wasiyatu lil walidayn wal aqrabina bil ma'ruf. He said when he restricted isharatan أو إشارة إلى أن الوصية ينبغي أن تكون موافقة للعقل من كل جهة. It's an indication that the wasiyah, the will, is expected to be in accordance with what? With intellect. With our sense. You shouldn't do something that it does not make sense. من كل جهة, from all sides. لأن المعروف, because when you say معروف, هو المعروف بالحسن لدى العقل, is something that is good, that intellect accept it to be what? To be good. Your sense of reason will tell you this one is good. Then يجب أن تكون الوصية, it is compulsory متأكلة, it is compulsory for the will to be rational. When you are writing will, that is why I said this. Whenever we are talking of will now, we are talking about it biman al-akhaz. That is with that 1/3 that the deceased has right. We said 1/3 the deceased has the right of 1/3 of whatever he left after the obligations has been taken away, like if he's owing and others. If he left 30 million, 15 million is used to settle debts and others. The remaining 15 million, the deceased has right of 1/3 from it. That 1/3, nobody should tamper with it. Just like he has no right also to exceed 1/3. Like now he dies, as he's coming, we are going to read. He dies now, all the money he left is 20 million. He said whatever he left, 15 million should be taken from it to do one charity work or the other. That one will not be taken, it will not be accepted because it's contrary to the Sharia. Therefore, he's only entitled to what? To 1/3 of whatever he left. Now, يجب أن تكون الوصية متأكلة, should be rational في مقدارها, in terms of the quantity, of a nisbati tawziya, and in terms of its proportion of the way it is being what? It is being shared. The way it is being shared. دون أن يكون فيها تمييز, he should not discriminate. He should be a good father to all. He should not just discriminate because this one, like now for example, you marry 2 or 3 wives. This one, I'm just example. The man is a TV man, for example, is a Muslim, and one of his wives is a TV, one is Hausa, one is what? Is Yoruba. He just try to favor the one that is where? Is his tribe, which is a TV man. He should not discriminate in the will he is leaving behind. Wadunan to addi ila nizar, and he should try by all means that the will not lead to nizar. What is nizar? That is dispute. He should do something that is in accordance with what? With intellect, with reasoning. Then wa in hiraf, and he should not deviate an usul al-haq wal adala, from the principle of justice and what? And equity. He should make sure that he works based on equity and what? And justice. He should make sure he works on it. حين تكون الوصية جامعة للخصائص المذكورة. When the wasiyah, the will, has all these aforementioned characteristics that we mentioned now. If the wasiyah has it, فهي محترمة ومقدسة. That wasiyah, that will is respected, and it will be termed as what? As holy. That is something that one cannot just go and tamper with. وَكُلُّ تَبْدِيلٍ, any kind of alteration, وَتَغْيِيرٍ, and any kind of changes, فِيهَا, in it, مَعْذُورٌ, is forbidden. You are not allowed to change the will of a testator. That is who? A musi, somebody that died, that left will. You are not allowed to tamper with what he wrote, except there are exceptional cases where you can tamper with it. He said, now, altering it and changing it is what is forbidden, it's not allowed. Wa haram, and it is haram. It is not allowed to tamper with it. لذلك تقول الآية, because of that the verse is saying, فَمَنْ بَدَّلَهُ, whoever alters the will of testator, that is the person that writes the will, the deceased. Now, فَمَنْ بَدَّلَ بَعْدَ مَا سَمِعَ, after he has heard it that this is what the owner of the will, testator, this is what he said, he changed it. فَإِنَّمَا إِثْمُ عَلَى الَّذِينَ يُبَدِّلُونَ, the sin is on those people that change it. The man has done his own part by writing what he wants, and hence what he has written does not go contrary to Sharia. You don't have any right to tamper with what? With the will. لذلك تقول الآية فمن بدل بعد ما سمعه فإنما اسمه على الذين يبدلون ولا يظنون المحرفون المتلاعبون أن الله غافل عما يعملون. Those المحرفون, those distorters, والمتلاعبون, and those who manipulate the wills, they should not think that Allah is unaware of what they are doing. Even if it is between you and the Musi and the testator, the owner of the will, only you and him, he told you this is what I want, this is what I want. And you, because you know that nobody heard what he said to you, nobody knows about it, you went on your own and changed it. Don't forget that Allah is don't think that Allah is unaware of what you are doing. Allah is very, very aware of it. Therefore, you changing it, you are just deceiving yourself, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will hold you responsible on the day of Qiyamah. Kalla inna Allah sami'un alim. Allah hears and he sees. He's the omniscience, inshallah. Wala ala hadhihi al-ayah, he said, probably this verse, tushiru, shows ila ana tala'ub, that manipulating, of manipulation of the executor, the person that he gives that, Mala, please take care of this, my will. This is what I want you to do. And you are the one to execute my will. Just like when Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was going to war, when he was going to Medina, during that migration, he called Imam Ali, he said, you are the one to take care of whatever I'm leaving. This one is for this one is for that. Then he handed over everything to him. Then he said, manipulation of the executor, al-wasi, wa huwa al-mas'ul an tanfiz al-wasiya, is the person. What do we mean by al-wasi? The person that is responsible to execute the will. It's called al-wasi, which we call executor. La yuswad al-ajr al-musi. It does not stop the reward of who? Of the testator. The testator has his reward because he has done his own part. Then you, as a human being, you don't have right to stop this, to alter or to change whatever he has done. Falmusi yanalu ajrahu. He said the testator, that is the deceased that left the will. He said he would definitely get his reward. Wal ithma al wasi al muharram. The sin is on that executor, the person that is responsible to execute the will that deviated. Al-muharraf fi kamiyyat, in the quantity, al-wasiyya, or kayfiyatiha, or how it should be done, or fi asla, or the origin of the will itself. The sin is on him. Wa yuhtamala aidan, it is also there's probability and al-ayah that this verse tubri'u sahat ghayr al-mustahiqin, acquits those that are not entitled to this will, الذين قسم بينهم الإرث عند عدم الالتزام, that this executor extended it to them, and whereas they are not entitled to get this what the musi, the testator left, these people are not entitled to it, but the executor, the person that he put in charge, extended his hand to them and started giving everybody anyhow he liked. Now, what I call in a haulai, he's saying, الذين لا يعملون بِتَلَعُبُ الْوَصِي. He said those that do not manipulate the will. They do not manipulate it. They execute it the exact way the testator said that they should execute it. La isma alayhim. They didn't commit any sin. But al-ithma al-wasi al-muharram. But the sin is on that executor that deviated or distorted the will. Wala tanakul bayna tafsirayn. He said there's no tanakul, there's no contradiction in these two explanations. Fal aya tajma'u tafsirayn man. This particular verse gather the two, that is, put the two together. Bayyan al-Quran fi ma sabaqa al-ahkam al-amma. The first one is that it's a general law that he explained. وَأَكَّدَ عَلَى حُرْمَةِ كُلِّ تَبْدِيلٍ فِيهَا. And he said here, he emphatically said that anybody that alters it or changes it will definitely face the wrath of who? Of Almighty Allah. وَلَكِنْ فِي كُلِّ قَانُونٍ إِسْتِثْنَاء. As we all know, in every law, there must be what? Exceptional cases. No law that has no exceptional cases. We have made example of this for long. If somebody's farm is there now, and you know by crossing from this place to that place, you are going to encroach in that person's farm, destroy some of his plants. You are not allowed. But beside the farm, there is river there, and you just heard a voice, either a child or somebody is about to be sunk in that river. Will you say you don't want to touch the farm of this person? This is exceptional case now. In this case, you are allowed to cross, even if you are going to destroy some plants there. You destroy it so that you can save the life there. Therefore, in every law, he's saying that in every law there are what? Exceptional cases. Now, wal ayah thalitha, he said the third verse min ayati basna, in this verse that we are discussing now, hada tubayyun hada al-istisna, is explaining this exceptional case. What I call faman badalahu, whoever alters or change, no, faman khafa min musin, whoever fears min musin, from the testator, janafan or ithman, that the testator has one way or the other during the course of writing his will, he made mistake. Because he's a human being, he may not know the law. He is the owner of his wealth. But as we said, that he's not allowed, his right is only 1/3 of the money that he left after the necessary things have been taken away. But what is left behind now is 15 million. But he wrote in his will that 10 million should be taken to that masjid, for the masjid. Is he entitled to 10 million? No. Because he's only entitled to 1/3. And that 1/3 is what? 5 million. In this case now, it will not. This is where the executor has the right to tamper with the will, because he has to correct the mistake of the musi here now. Faman khafa min musin janafan aw ithman, or intentionally, the testator may commit this sin. He knows that it is not right. He said, "I'm the owner of my money." Mentioned 3 of his wives. He said, "See, this one will take you, Amma, the third one, don't give her anything." No, in as far as she's your wife and you didn't divorce her before you die, the woman is entitled to it because she's your wife. But for the fact, for one reason or the other, he said the money should not be extended to her. In this case now, it will be adjusted because he made mistake. The mistake here at times either intentional or unintentional. Now he said, and the executor was able to resolve where the difference is. Fala isma alayhi. He said there's no sin for that what? For that executor. He will not say that hence the testator has written that this is what he wants, I will not tamper with it. You only, just like somebody come now, he said, as far as I'm concerned, just like those bastards you call Boko Haram, they say that you can go and steal to come and use it for Islam. You go and steal someone's wealth to come and spend it for Islam. Allah will not hold you responsible for not spending for Islam if you don't have. It's only when you have and you refuse to spend, that is when Allah will hold you. You went and stole somebody's money, killed people to take money by force, and at the end you want to justify what you say. That one is not right. Now, he's saying, as we are saying, فَأَصْلَى بِنْ فَلَا إِثْمَ عَلَيْهِ. In this case, that executor has not committed any sin by adjusting the mistake of who? Of the testator. He has not committed any mistake. Inna Allah ghafurur rahim. Allah is most forgiving and is most merciful. Al-istithna yartabit bil wasiyya al-mudawwana bi shaklin ghayr sahih. As I said, he said this exemption or exception is connected to the wasiyya, to the will al-mudawwana that is written bi shaklin ghayr sahih, is incorrectly written. This is a will. You are the owner of your money, but the way you said it should be done, Sharia does not go with it. He said, Wahuna yahiku lil wasi. In this place, yahiku, it is right for the wasi, for the executor, and yunabbih al musi ala khata'ihi. If in kana hayyan, if the testator, that is the owner of the will, the deceased, if he's alive, at times he's alive, he called the executor. He said, you are the one to execute my will after my demise. Is that not so? You are the one to execute my will after my demise. After his demise, what happened? Before his demise, he showed him the will. And the executor saw that he has made mistake. He should put him right. He said, no, this one is not right. Correct yourself. Either when he's alive, in kana hayyan, one you addila wasiyatahu in kana mayyitan. If it was after the demise of this person, of the testator, that he came to realize that he made mistake. In that case, how can he seek permission from him? He has already died. Then he will adjust the will. He will correct it. وحدد الفقهاء مواد جواز التعديل. He said Fuqaha has spelled out those areas that is allowed to change the will. They spell it out. Number one, he said إذا كانت الوصية تتعلق بأكثر من ثلث مجموع ثروة. I've said this. If the wasiya, the will he made, is connected more than 1/3 of what? Of the wealth the man left. The man left wealth, but the will he wrote is more than 1/3 that he has right over. As we said, the deceased, the testator has right of 1/3 of whatever he left. After the necessary thing has been taken away, his owing, it was paid. He has this on somebody, it has been paid. Then the remaining one is 15 million. That 15 million is entitled to what? 5 million. That is 1/3. But mistakenly, he said that 10 million should be taken from the money. It will not work in that way. Only 5 million will be taken to honor him, and nobody has right to deny him of his right. فَقَدْ أَكَّدَتِ النُّصُوص الْمَعْصُومِينَ. He said the nusus, the narrations of the infallibles, ala jawaz al-wasiya fi thuluth. In this case, is that 1/3 is allowed in wasiya, in the will. وَحَذَّرَتْ مَا زَادَ عَلَى ذَلِكَ. Anything more than 1/3 is not allowed. That is, you are not allowed, the testator is not allowed to make will more than 1/3 of what he left. If the will is more than 1/3, it will be brought back to what? To 1/3. من هنا لو وصى شخص بتوزيع كل ثروته على غير الورثة الشرعيين. For example, if somebody make will that his wealth should be shared to those that are not entitled to it. Those who are entitled to it are there, but he said his wealth, either for one reason, maybe they provoke him. He was provoked. He wrote in his will that if I die, none of my children will share in my inheritance. No, Oga. Hence they are your children. They have to share in it. Falatasi wasiyatahu. In that case, falatasi wasiyatahu. In that case, his wasiya is not what? It's not right. Therefore, in that case, it is allowed for the executor to change what? To change the will. وَعَلَى الْوَصِيَّةِ أَنْ يُقَلِّلْ إِلَى حَدِّ الثُّلُثِ. In that case, the wasiya, the executor should bring it to 1/3. Should not exceed 1/3. Let's read the second one and stop. إِذَا كَانَ فِي الْوَصِيَّةِ مَا يُؤَدِّي إِلَى الظُّلْمِ وَالْإِثْمِ. If the wasiya he has written down will lead to what? Will lead to oppression and lead to sin. كَالْوَصِيَّةِ بِإِعَانَةِ مَرَاكِزِ الْفَسَادِ. He wrote in the wasiya that if he dies and he passes away, that 1/3 he left should be used to build a disco house where the nightclub, where people are going to commit what? Facade. He wrote it in his will. Said, this is what I want to be done after my demise. Or he wrote in his will that, yes, I'm owing Hajj when I was alive, but nobody should care about it. After my demise, people should not care about it. This one now, nobody will listen to him. You can't write a will that they should use your money to build a what? Nightclub or something that is facade, or wajib that is connected to Almighty Allah, to human being, or you owe somebody 10 million. Said, if that bastard come, tell him we are not owing him. And everybody knows you are owing him. Therefore, such will not be honored. That is what he's saying here. Inshallah, I think by tomorrow we continue from here so that we can stop here. وصلى الله على محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين.